Question, page 17, says that Marxism is incompatible with nationalism. In other words, American sovereignty must go. Is it a surprise then that Zbigniew Brzezinski, former advisor to President Jimmy Carter and now a behind-the-scenes advisor to President Barack Obama, also agreed with Lenin? He states, quote, nationalism is no longer a viable concept. This man is advisor to Barack Obama. Please read for yourself what he says in his book, Between Two Ages. Brzezinski states that Marxism represents a further vital and creative stage in the maturing of man's universal vision. He says Marxism is a victory of reason over belief in God. It is no wonder then that one Christian writer, Bob Treves, in his excellent publication Cherith Chronicles, warns about Barack Obama and his presidency. Obama, said Mr. Treves, is truly a dark, shadowy character from the Marxist mafia underworld. And he notes that secret societies are protecting and guiding this man to set in place totalitarian rule in America, telling Obama what to say and telling him what to do. But again, let's go to the words of Obama himself. Tell me, dear friends, do these sound like words of our founding fathers or the greatest of American presidents, or do they sound like they're words out of the mouth of a Marxist socialist? During the presidential campaign of 2008, Barack Obama had a rally in the state of Oregon. It's very interesting that he had an opening band that played music for him. The name of the band was the Decembrists. Here's a picture of them. They're dressed in Soviet garb, communist garb. Well, it seems that the Decembrist band is named after an 1825 revolt by communists over the Imperial Russian succession. It was called the Decembrist Revolt. It was an attempted early communist revolution. Now, this same band opens many of its shows by playing the Soviet Union's national anthem. And, of course, they're waving the red flag of Soviet communism. Yes, Barack Hussein Obama, some say, could be the triumph of Marxism or communism. We continue to have indications of this. Here's a news item which says that in this book, The Secret World of American Communism, it's revealed that Senator Obama of Illinois shared an office with Communist Party leader Mike Kronsky. In Investor's Business Daily, we're told that Obama has an entire axis of Marxist friends. And there's more. This article, Socialism, Marxism, Communism, and Obama, talking about his ties to various communists, including Mr. Bill Ayers, who was indicted as a communist terrorist back in the 70s. In fact, the top U.S. communist, the head of the U.S. Communist Party, during the 2008 election, encouraged his people in a column in the Daily Worker newspaper of the communist. He said, elect Obama and change the world. Socialism, communism, Zionism, Bolshevism. Ernest Elmshurst, in The World Hoax, 1938, said that Jewish domination is the goal of communism. He said socialism, communism, and Bolshevism in reality are only links in the plan of world-embracing Judaism, with its final purpose of forcing the entire world under Jewish domination. Barack Obama forcing the world to accept Jewish domination? Why, it's almost as if he would be the first Jewish president. More on that in a moment. In the American Bulletin back in 1935, Rabbi Wise was the best-known rabbi in America, a great friend of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was also a friend and a fan of Marxism and communism and Joseph Stalin. Some call it Marxism, said Rabbi Wise. I call it Judaism. Alfred Nozick, a Jew, but an exposer of the Jewish plot, in his book, The Secret Forces Behind Revolution, stated, quote, socialism and the Mosaic Code are not at all in opposition. All Jewish groups have a vital interest in the victory of socialism. Eustace Mullins, a fighter against Zionism and communism, in his classic book, Mullins' New History of the Jews, said it like it is. He wrote, communism is the modern form of the Jewish collective state. Is that what America is to become? A Jewish collective state? The Jewish Chronicle, an authoritative Jewish publication, as far back as 1919, said this, quote, The ideals of Bolshevism, that is, the most extreme form of communism that took over Russia, are consonant with the finest ideals of Judaism. Will America be taken over? Is it being taken over step by step, as Trotsky warned and advocated? This book, written by Jan Kozak, of how communism took over so much of Eastern Europe, is very instructive. It is entitled, "And Not a Shot is Fired." Again, we turn to the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, Protocol number 10. They choose for political office the Zionist Illuminati, the Rothschilds, men with dark stains in their past. That's who they want. In order that our scheme may produce this result, we shall arrange elections in favor of such presidents as have in their past some dark, undiscovered stain, some Panama or other. Then they will be trustworthy agents for the accomplishment of our plans out of fear of revelations. What dark stain exists in Obama's past? Can we find such a dark stain? Is he being required by fear of revelation to go along with this Jewish Rothschild plot for the takeover of America and the world? Let us study the history of Barack Obama from infancy and see what we can find. Here, we're told is a picture of his father, who comes from the nation in Africa of Kenya, who met his mother, Stanley Ann Dunham, and produced Barack Obama. She was evidently his third wife. He had two back in Africa. And after young Barack Hussein Obama was only 2 years old, he was abandoned by this father from Kenya. Now, a time or two the father did visit. Here from San Francisco at the airport, we see the father holding his arm around young Barack Obama. It's amazing. Even though his father abandoned him and his mother, Ann Durham, at the age of 2, nevertheless, Barack Obama was led to write an entire book. Here is a cover of that book, Dreams from My Father. What dreams might he have attained from a father at the age of 2? Well, here he is at about the age of 2 with his mother. Was he then dreaming about what his father believed? I doubt that. He had another father, of course, from Indonesia. Here is that father, Mr. Sotero. And here is young Barack with his mother and his sister living in the nation of Indonesia. By the way, camera, go up very close and look at that strange medallion around the neck of youthful Barack Obama. Here's Obama a little bit older with his auntie from Kenya. Now here's Obama's a young man again with his grandfather and his mother and his sister. Barack Obama said of his mother, Ann Durham, her real name, by the way, was Stanley Ann Durham, because her father, Barack's grandfather, was named Stanley. Then he called his daughter, too, Stanley, because he wanted a boy, but her friends called her Ann. Obama said of his mother that she was the dominant figure in his formative years. And the values that she taught him, said Obama, continue to be my touchstone when it comes to how I go about the world of politics. His mother was the dominant figure. Here is his mother as a young girl with her parents, the grandparents of Barack Obama, a very handsome pair. Ann Dunham was raised on a little island in the waters outside of Seattle, Washington. It seems that she went to a special school, a private school. The school was run by a headmaster that taught the kids communism and socialism. Her friends said that Ann Dunham despised Christianity, and she was quick to debate anyone who believed in Jesus Christ. And that's the way she was raised, by her atheist communist parents. And Obama says that she was the most formative influence in his political thinking. But we can go further. His grandparents obviously helped to form his thinking. Who were these grandparents? What were they all about? Here he is as a young man sitting on a park bench with his grandfather and his grandmother, the Dunhams. Now, look at this picture very carefully on this park bench, because I want to tell you about another man who knew this same couple and who met them at that same park in Honolulu, Hawaii, years earlier. It was a man named Frank Marshall Davis. Here's his picture. Frank Marshall Davis was a communist, a member of the Communist Party USA, an influential communist in Atlanta, Georgia. He moved to Chicago, Illinois, where he became even more famous, or should we say infamous, as a member of the Communist Party USA. Frank Marshall Davis, he was a writer, a novelist, a nonfiction writer, and well-placed in the Chicago Communist Jewish Black Network, Frank Marshall Davis. What is his connection with Obama? Well, Barack Obama, in his book, The Audacity of Hope, says that other than his mother, this Frank Marshall Davis taught him everything practically he needed to know. He taught me what I should think. He taught me my political ideas. Frank Marshall Davis was the